Much. Next question, and I believe Betty Lynn, this one will start with you. And the question is as follows. Butcher Hill, and by the way, I didn't know what Butcher Hill was, but it's if you go down via Del Monte, and it's that large area that's it's proposed for some very high density kinds of activities. So Butcher Hill, adjacent to Palos Verdes Estates, has a plan submitted to Torrance. This greatly affects PV residents with traffic, diminished home values, etc. What are your thoughts on this? Please.
Absolutely against their development, for sure. That's one. We actually held a community engagement meeting a couple of months ago because our residents were really concerned. Unfortunately, it's not within our jurisdiction, so there's really not a whole lot we could do except to influence the Torrance City Council and also really take a look at their environmental impact reports, because right now they have an independent environmental engineer to study their noise impact and their traffic impact and all that stuff. But I call BS on their report because it's very favorable to what they can develop. And I know we have a lot of experts in our residents that can completely refute what they were able to discover. So noise impact, air quality control impact, and all the other things, if we can really band together, we might be able to stop them from developing.
Great, thank you. David.
I'm very much familiar with the property we're discussing, but I have to candidly admit I am not up to speed on all the current status with the environmental impact studies. I understand one is due to be issued here in the next few months, but I need to do my homework before I make any judgmental call one way or the other. I have done zero at this point in time.
Thank you. Kevin.
Obviously, that building's going to impact our city. Parking, driving, shortcuts, the parties, whatever it is. But because it's not our jurisdiction, I would be interested to talk to the city attorney to see what can we do from a city standpoint? Is there a traffic piece we can implement? Is there a signage thing we can implement? Just some type of ordinance to help protect our city.
Great, thanks. Victoria.
Well, I guess my issue with this one is again, at city council meetings, residents, one after another, come and say to the city council, hey, we need your help. This is a problem in our neighborhood, mostly probably people in Belmonte, and the answer comes back, oh, not our purview, and we're gonna, take it up with City of Torrance. To me, again, back to leadership. I mean, you come to the city council asking for help, and I think the answer has to be, okay, let's figure out what we can do, and let's see where we can have influence. Let's see where we can create ordinances. Whatever. My observation is that I think our residents would like to see some leadership from the city council on this issue.
Thank you, Jennifer.
This is definitely something our residents feel passionate about, and they did come to multiple meetings. So in response to that, we had a community meeting with the developer who informed residents what the project was going to be. Thereafter, we did take concerns from residents both at the meeting and online via multiple emails, and we had a special portal for residents to email their concerns. So we kind of know where we need to focus our efforts when the environmental impact report comes in. What will happen in the city of Torrance is there'll be an administrative proceeding. The developer and the city will prepare a document called an environmental impact report. There will be a period of time by which people who object to the project or believe that the environmental impacts haven't been adequately mitigated will have an opportunity to respond. I know our residents have been impatient and want to respond prior to that process. I think it's very important that we wait until the environmental impact report comes, because if we just start complaining now, we lose credibility, because they'll just say, well, we would have complained whatever the impacts were. So we are ready with an engineer, noise engineer, all that, when the environmental impact comes in, to respond.
Great, thank you. Michael.
About how unified all of these candidates are on this issue is exactly how unified much of our city is. I went and sat down with Josie, the head of the group that's resisting this, because I have numerous friends that have come to me in Belmonte begging me to do so. the conversation focused on the environmental impact report, and to Jennifer's point, I don't think there's much for us to do in the meantime other than writing letters to Torrance. She had, at last count, 1,650 letters that had been sent to the city of Torrance. So I said, well, I'll make it 1,651 on your behalf. I think everyone's is very heavily against this project, and I think they started with a large number of units and they've reduced it to what they think it's going to be. Sounds like our PVHA process. We need to vehemently oppose it. Where I stopped short was I sat with the group, and one of their ideas is to bring all of the cities together, and this becomes part of our funding issue again, but what they want is for each city to actually support them in litigation against the developer. And I said, unfortunately, I can't stand behind that because of our fiscal situation. Short of that, I donated to the group. I'm vehemently opposed to it, and I'm happy to contribute and help however I can.
Right. Thank you.